We're live on both.
To the square, ain't gotta be no beef. When I tell devils that they go to shaking like a leaf, I'm hardcore right now. Check my resume. Not some stuff I did long time ago. I'm talking about today. My words cut and slice like a knife. They been a blade. Renegade. I don't make lemonade. I make grenade. Catch a fade. You get slid on my niggas real. Warriors train to fight and kill. So nigga chill. You ran streets. That's past time. We run streets. It's cash time. You play too much, you waste your money buying stripper hoes. Expensive clothes, 83s and O's. Hold up your nose. It's obvious you chose not to do nothing with your dough. And now you late night creeping with a tranny on the low. Your blood gon' be upon you, most I gon' put you to death. Better change your life right now, you don't have much time left. Once I get the order, it's con out of one con. Bodies in the field laying all on the lawn. I do it for Yahweh and Yahweh's son. Dash Esau baby head against the storm. It's kind of fun. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I spit game to a damsel and tap that. Hear a beat out like I'm in the studio, a lab rat. Toxic masculinity, I'm known to be aggressive. Over 30 years in the rap game, impressive. In my own lane, can't nobody take it from me. Grab the mic and speak the truth. Now these heathens running from me. All I see is emasculated men with pride. You in your room smoking weed, meanwhile the hood get gentrified. You claim to be a gangster, but you ain't got no game. When the police hit the block, they run, they ain't gon' aim. Heard just the other day, my homie threw his life away. That could have been the end of the grave. I think on top of UPK. It's a place where warriors dwell, real priests and prophets of the Lord. Real men never fail. Can you tell it not? We gon' show you how to organize. Build the kingdom of heaven on earth right before your eyes. Once I get the order, it's con out of one con. Bodies in the field laying all on the lawn. I do it for Yahweh and Yahweh's son. Dash Esau baby head against the storm. It's kind of fun. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet.
Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West and 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Today is the Sunday Scripture Breakdown class where we go into the scriptures and answer your questions. Like we always say, in the Christian church, you can't raise your hand and ask no questions. So we want you to bring all your questions to the true priests and prophets of the Lord so you can get an understanding of the Bible, life, and everything that goes with it. You understand? That's what we here for. So if you got any questions on YouTube or Facebook, type your questions in. We're going to get it directly to them, and we're going to try to answer whatever needs to be answered. You understand? Anybody got a question in the class? Go ahead.
Sir. So I want to ask a question about when Paul was before Agrippa, and when he did tell Paul that he almost persuaded him to become a Christian.
Right.
Now we understand that Agrippa could never be a follower of Christ. So Baba Kashar said, you can explain what exactly happened in that exchange, sir?
No sweat. Read that for me out.
This is Acts chapter 26, verse 26 through 28. For the king knoweth of these things, before whom also I speak freely. For I am persuaded that none of these things are hidden from him. For this thing was not done in a corner. Verse 27. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets? I know that thou believest. 28. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuaded me to be a Christian. Verse 29. And Paul said, I would to God that not only thou, but also all that hear me this day were both almost and altogether such as I am, except these bonds.
Now, let me ask you a question. Where is this conversation taking place? Brother that asked the question, where was this conversation taking place between Agrippa and Paul?
Well, Slaki, if I may, sir, Paul was before a trial, before King Agrippa. He was being judged by Agrippa.
Right. So he was on trial. Now, when you're on trial, how do you talk to the person that's sitting behind the judge seat?
Well, you try to be as persuasive as you can to be free.
That's exactly what. Hold on. Hey, unplug that other mic. Okay, no, switch the battery. Okay, yeah. So Paul's trying to be as persuasive as he can be so that he can do what?
Be free, sir.
No, not just be free. Not just be free. He's not just asking for freedom. He wants to do what?
Be unchained.
He want to live.
Right.
You understand? Because they would have killed him.
Right.
You understand? So whatever he has to say to be free is what he's going to say. So this is what you have to learn, and that we learn in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Give me my scripture. Give me Matthew's. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 25.
Okay, go ahead.
And it reads, agree with thine adversary quickly.
What do you do?
Agree with thine adversary quickly.
You need to understand that, see, this is how black people get killed all the time dealing with the police. Because they always want to argue back and forth with the police. They want to, they act like they're going to have court on the freeway. You understand? When they pull you over, I wasn't speeding. I didn't run no stop sign. I didn't run no light. You know what I'm saying? What you should do is understand that you are dealing with an adversary. An adversary is an enemy. And what does the Bible say to do with your adversary?
Agree with thine adversary quickly. While thou art in the way with him.
While you standing in front of him, agree with him. While he's dealing with you, agree with him. This is what Paul is doing to Agrippa. Paul is agreeing with him swiftly. He is trying to make him feel comfortable talking to him.
Right.
And he was so persuasive in his conversation, it made Agrippa feel like, you know what? You almost made me want to follow Christ.
Right.
You almost, the way you see, and you know what? We dealt with a devil yesterday that walked away feeling the same way. He was so cut to the core. He was so hurt. He was like, you know what? Let's just leave. Let's just leave. Keep reading.
No, I was gonna say, and Paul, even these writings today are touching the enemy because they still persuaded to try to be a Christian.
Exactly. They want to be a Christian right now. They trying to follow our Christ that died for us. You understand? Like, that's what people don't understand. The Bible is not a book it's not a book like the Cat in the Hat.
Right.
Anybody can read the Cat in the Hat. There's no, there's no stipulations to the Cat in the Hat. The Bible is a book. It is called the Holy Bible. Holy means separate, meaning it's a separate book. Biblios is the Greek word for Bible. So biblios means records. This is a separate record for a separate people.
Right.
You understand? Meaning it's not for everybody. It's not a book that everybody can just read and bring it to their lives so that they can feel good about it.
Right.
That's not what the Bible is. The Bible is a book that is only speaking to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It talks about the conditions of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And the only reason the other nations are in the book is because we were interacting with them.
That's it.
We were marrying them. We were at war with them. So we're not going to say if Mike Tyson has a fight with Muhammad Ali and it is the biography of Mike Tyson, the only reason Ali would be in that biography is because he was fighting Mike Tyson.
Right.
The only reason the Edomites and the Amorites and the Moabites and the Philistines are in the Bible was because they were enemies to the Israelites. That's it. They're not in the Bible because it's for them. Right. They're in the Bible because they're our enemies and we fought them.
Right.
And we were slaves to them and we were under them. So when Paul's talking to him, he's not trying to convince him to be his friend. Right. He's not trying to be brothers with him. Right. He's just trying to do what?
He's not trying to die.
He's just trying to live. Just like any Black man that's living in the earth today. Right. When you go stand in front of the court, you're not trying to die. You don't want to go in there and say, the hell with the justice system. Okay. If that's the case, then give them life. You understand? Right. They killing Black people for less. They killing you with your hands up saying don't shoot. Right. Don't go in the courtroom talking noise, because if you do, read what's after that.
Mm-hmm. 26, 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer.
You see that? That's exactly what it's saying. It's saying agree with them swiftly so you can get out of the way. They pull you over for a park. They tell you that you're speeding. That is not in the car, sitting there while the police standing outside your window is not the time to argue your point. Right. You understand? Because if you argue your point, then what'll happen? Read it.
Deliver thee to the officer.
They're going to deliver. The officer's going to take you out of your car. Read.
And thou be cast into prison.
And you're going to be cast into prison. So agree with them. I was speeding. Okay, sir, appreciate that. Give me my ticket. Thank you. I don't have my seatbelt on. I clearly have my seatbelt on. But I don't. No problem. Can you give me my ticket so that I can go? Right. So that you won't get killed. That's in the Bible. Right. That's been going on because niggas been trying to argue with authority. Niggas been trying to stand up and act like they have an understanding of something they don't. They don't. You understand? So that's what Paul was doing. Right. Paul was just trying to stay alive as a Black man standing in front of a white man that had the authority to say, crucify him, right, kill him. You know what I'm saying? Throw him in chains. He was saying, I wish all of y'all could be out. I wish that everybody could be out of chains. I wish nobody had to go through what I'm going through. Right. That's what he's saying. He's not trying to get Agrippa to be his brother. Right. Because what Paul knows is that he's his enemy. You know why we don't understand that? Because we read the Bible as if it's a book for all people. We read the Bible as if it's a book for everybody. You understand? Yep. It's not a book for everybody. That's why it's holy. You understand? So does that answer your question, bro?
So Agrippa turns into Agrippa. Right.
Right.
To help you remember the breakdown.
Right. Yeah, right. Anybody else got any more questions? Go ahead. What are the duties of the oppressor? That's a very good question. Let me see if anybody understand that. Any officers in here want to try to take a tag at it? It's kind of in the question. Go ahead. Right. Go ahead. Their job was to oppress. That's it. The job of the oppressor is to oppress. Now, who do oppressors oppress? Do they oppress? Let me ask you this. Do the oppressors oppress rich people?
They can't.
Why not?
Because rich people buy their way out of everything.
Give her a hand. Do you hear that? That is biblical. You understand? The reason the oppressor cannot oppress rich people because they can buy themselves out. They can only oppress you because you can't buy your way out. That is what, when the scripture talks about having no respecters of a person, that is what it means. Because people have a respect of persons when it comes to, say, let's take the Catholic priest, for instance.
Right.
You understand? They are child molesters and pedophiles.
Right.
But they have a system that keeps them safe. So when they get caught molesting children, what do?
Just transfer it to another.
They just transfer them somewhere else. They just move them somewhere else quietly.
Right.
Now, you don't have a system to help you like that. So if you molest somebody, what happens to you? You go to jail, you get whatever the punishment or the ramifications for that punishment is, that is what you have to get because you don't have money to get out of it. Give me wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. See, your oppressor can only oppress you if you don't have the money to pay him to shut him up. You understand?
Right.
That is how the system is set up against you. Start at Wisdom of Solomon 2, start at like verse 10.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man.
Wait a minute, what type of people are they oppressing?
Let us oppress the poor righteous man.
They are, first of all, oppressing poor people, but they're oppressing poor righteous people. Poor innocent people. People that are getting killed by the police is saying, hands up. My hands are up, don't shoot.
Right.
And they are being shot down. That has always been the spirit of the other nations, especially the white man, to oppress poor righteous people.
Right.
Why do they do that? Keep reading.
Okay. Let us not spare the widow.
Let us not spare who?
The widow.
Read.
Nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
You see what it's saying? It's saying they have no respect for the young or the old. That's what we see today. We see that same exact thing going on today. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you see that going on with white people? Do you see that going on with Arabs, with East Indians, with Chinese and Japanese? Are they being oppressed the way that we are being oppressed? Now, let me tell you, there are more Asian immigrants in America than there are Hispanic immigrants.
Right.
Undocumented immigrants. There are more undocumented Asian immigrants than there are undocumented Hispanic immigrants. Now, let me ask you something. Are they going into the nail shops and kicking them out of America? You know why? Because they're not the people of the Lord. They're not the children of the Most High. So what they are doing is oppressing the poor, righteous people. Keep reading.
Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice.
What is our strength?
The law of justice.
But the white man is saying, let his strength be the law of justice. Let me ask you something about his strength. Do we get justice from his law, from his judicial system? So you know what? His strength is what pushes us down lower into the ground. His justice system is what is what? Oppressing us. The white man is oppressing us, suppressing us, making us depressed. You know what I'm saying? Everything that has something to do with, you know what I'm saying? He is pushing us lower and lower and lower into the ground with what? Because of what? Is it because we're just so evil? It said, let us oppress the poor righteous people. Is it because we got so much money and we can pay our way out? It's because we're poor. He hates us in our poverty.
Right.
So why do you think that you can go to college and get a college education and get him to love you when he hates you while you don't have money? So what you think he gonna do when you get money? He's gonna hate you even more. Keep reading.
Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
Do you see how he looks at you? He's saying those people that are feeble are worth nothing to me. Do you see that? That's what we live in, man. We're living under a people who see your poverty as a way to stomp on you.
Right.
That's what we living right
That's
now.
right.
Go ahead, hold it. Yeah, keep it going. We got to go all the way to the bottom.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous.
Let us do what?
Lie in wait for the righteous.
What do the police officers do?
Lie in wait for the righteous.
They are sitting on your corners looking for you just to run through the stop sign.
Right.
When the white man goes into Walmart and shoots it up.
You know?
He walks into the store with an AR-15 and nobody says anything to him. You understand? And you know what happens to him that does not happen to black people? He got apprehended. You know what apprehended means? He was taken into custody. He was not dead. You understand? Black people die for traffic stops. Not even shooting, not even killing people. You understand? Whenever I hear that someone was apprehended, I know there's a white man. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Let us lie and wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn.
He is not for what?
Our turn.
You know what? We used to have integrity. We used to be against homosexuality. We used to be against smoking drugs, smoking weed and cigarettes and popping pills and being whores and being, pedophiles and all the murderers and robbers. We used to be against that. And when we were against that, you know what they had to do? They couldn't punish us. You know what? Do you know what brings slavery back into America? The 13th Amendment. You know what the 13th Amendment says? That if you are a criminal, then what?
You can be a slave.
You can be a slave. Only if you're a criminal. So if I want to act like being a slave is over, all I have to do is make you a criminal. How do I make you a criminal? You're already oppressed. You're going through the worst conditions on the earth. I'm going to put illegal substances in your neighborhood while you are poor.
Right.
I'm going to put weed in your community.
Right. That's right. Okay.
I'm going to put weed in your community. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make that weed illegal.
Right.
So when I catch you with that weed, because you're going to smoke it because you are what?
Oppressed.
Because you are so oppressed.
Right.
You're going to smoke it. So I'm going to make it illegal. You're going to go to jail, and then I can work you for 25 cents a day in prison.
That's right.
I can work you for a penny a day in prison. I can work you as a slave.
Hebrew slave.
As a Hebrew slave.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead, Al.
Salaki, if I may, real quick, sir. A lot of the rhetoric that they say and the propaganda that they say about our immigrant brothers and sisters that come over here from South and Central America, which they oppress them in that land down there, right? That's why the only reason why they want to leave.
Right.
So they say, well, they just gonna come here and they're gonna be drug dealers and rapists, and they're just gonna be a weight on our economy. Right. So when you backtrack and consider the Europeans that came over here, yes, they were drug dealers, they were rapists, they robbed, and they oppressed the Native Americans.
Right.
So
and the scripture is saying the reason they hated us is because we were not like them.
That's right.
That's what makes them hate us even more, is when we don't act like them. Keep reading.
Because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doing.
He is clean contrary to what we do. We rape, rob, and murder, but we can't hold them accountable for raping, robbing, and murdering.
Right.
That makes them hate us.
Right.
That's why they hate the UPK. That's why faggots come out to the camp and try to battle us, because they hate the truth that we bring out when we speak against them and their lies and their deceits.
Yeah.
You understand? Keep reading.
He upbraided us with our offerings. I'm sorry. He upbraided us with our offending the law.
Right.
And objected to our infamy, the transgressings of our education.
Of whose education?
Our education.
When we go and bring out the true history We are transgressing the white man's education.
Yep.
We are going against Christopher Columbus founded America.
Right.
Because we bring out the artifacts and we bring out the proof that which everybody knows people were already here. We go against that, and they hate when we do that. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading though.
What kind? Verse 13. He professed to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord.
You see that? That is what the white man does. He professes to have the knowledge of the Lord. They come out and they try to speak against the true priests and prophets of the Lord when they don't understand the Bible because this is not their book. Just like we don't understand being American because we are not Americans.
Right.
You know what? We try to make America some type of thing that we have in our mind. We try to make America something that we've created in our mind, a place for all people. We've created that mirage, which is not true. But when you look at what America really is, it is a place for Europeans.
Right.
It is a place for white people only.
Yeah.
When they said all men were created equal, they were not talking about black people. Because in 1776, where were black people? In slavery.
Right.
So you got to understand the context, but we don't understand context because we were taught by dumbasses. We were taught by the white man who does not understand the Bible at all because this is not his wisdom. This is not his understanding, but this is ours in the sight of who? No.
In the sight of all the nations.
In the sight of the nations. Right. The Lord gave us this understanding so that the other nations, give me that, Deuteronomy 4 and 6. I'm going to show you what I mean. Because a lot of people may not understand what I'm saying. Keep reading.
Verse 14. He was made to reprove our thoughts.
Why was the white man made?
To reprove our thoughts.
What does that mean? Let's see. He was made to reprove our thoughts. Go ahead.
Well, reprove means correct. But I think in this arena, I think he was made to deceive us, to correct our thoughts to his agenda.
You close though. You were correct when you said to correct.
Right.
So if
he was made to be a whooping stick. He was made to be the punisher. He is the vessel of dishonor. And he was made to correct us and make us come back to the Most High. Right. Go ahead. That's what he was made to do. By us living under the white man for so long, everybody that's in this room, we are tired of being oppressed. We're tired of getting whoopings. So now you know what we do? We come into the truth. We change our lives. Right. We put down our old lifestyles and pick up a new lifestyle because we have been reproved by seeing how the world treats you. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 15. He is grievous unto us even to behold.
They hate to even look at us. No matter how smart you are, no matter how well educated you are and how good you talk and use 13-letter words, he hates even looking at us. But what you try to do? Love him anyway. Right. You try to give him all your love and he hates the sight of you. Keep reading.
He is grievous unto us even to behold.
Right.
For his life is not like other men.
Did you see that? The white man does not live like everybody else. And you know who else don't live like everybody else? We don't.
Right on.
We are different. We are what? We're supposed to be holy, set apart. And that is what they don't like about us. They don't like that we had integrity and we would not follow them in their wickedness. Do you know that 7 brothers died for not eating pork? And they mama. Do you understand? Now just imagine, Salakia, imagine if we had that type of integrity today.
Right.
We wouldn't have Jay-Z's. Right. You understand? We wouldn't have people that leave their brother's soul out because of $1.
Right.
These brothers said, you want me to eat pork? I'd rather die than eat pork. You understand? Than to transgress the law of our God. That is who we used to be. Now, we like, what? $20? Man, go ahead, give me that $20, man. It's hard out here for a pimp. Right. You understand? Keep on reading.
His ways are of another fashion.
Read.
Verse 16. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
Look, how do we look at the white man? How do we look at our oppressor?
As counterfeits.
You know what we say? You're not the real Jews. You're saying you are an imposter. And they hate that we say that. They hate that we say all of that. You understand? Go ahead, sis. Right. That is what, oh, get a sister a hand. Salakia, raise your hand now. Go ahead.
Adolf Hitler killed them for acting like niggas.
Right. That's what they don't talk about. They don't say that Adolf Hitler killed them because they were acting like us. They don't say that. They just make him a bad guy for killing them in the first place.
They don't say that his grandmother was Jewish.
Raise your hand. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say it again.
They don't tell us that his grandmother was Jewish.
Right. You understand?
Right.
That's all of it is the same thing.
Right.
Go ahead. Keep reading.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
Right.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
That's what they hate about us. When we abstain from their ways as filthiness, that is what makes them oppress us.
Right.
Because as long as we are sinners, then what happens to them?
They stay in rulership.
They stay on top. Because Deuteronomy 28:1 says, if you hearken diligently into the voice of the Lord thy God, I will set you above all nations on the face of the earth. Verse 15 says, but if you do not hearken, I will put you under all nations. So as long as we are sinners, they are on top. And as long as we are righteous, they are on the bottom. So when they hate when we righteous, they hate the UPK. Go ahead, sis.
Walking to the stores and they had a white guy walking up briskly behind us, and I'm like, he might strolling up close on us.
Right.
And
Mass
the
shooter.
feeling inside of me was like, a murder was coming up.
Because it was a murderer, right? And that's how you always should feel. Because this is a nation of murderers.
Right.
I mean, all of them are estranged from the womb.
Right.
They go off as soon as they are born, speaking lies. So yeah, a white man can walk up on you and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" But in his heart, there's nothing but war.
That's right.
He thinks how to throw you into a pit.
You understand? Go ahead, sis.
The way that they tried to look at us was the way that I felt about them.
And that is why in the UPK we teach you to racially profile. We teach you to profile the other nations because they deserve to be profiled. Like when you see a white person walk up, you should lock your doors.
Right.
Because they may shoot you. They may kill you because they just hate you for nothing. You understand? Keep reading. Go ahead, sis. That is how you save your own life. It's called self-preservation. You will never see a lion look out for a tiger. They're both feline. They're both cats. But all cats are not created equal. You understand? Go ahead, read what you got. Read what you got. Hold that. Read what you got.
This is the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 18. What agreement is there between a hyena and a dog?
Do you hear that? Now, guess what? What kind of an animal is a hyena? A dog. But what agreement does a hyena have with a pit bull? None. Because you know why? Pit bulls know that they're not hyenas.
Right.
You know what? Black people don't know that they're not white people. Hispanics don't know that they're not white people.
That's right.
So you know what Hispanics and black people do? They try to love all people. Right. Keep reading. Most High Christ.
Come, that the one come.
And-
Let him finish. Go ahead.
And what peace between the rich and the poor?
What?
What peace is there between the rich and the poor?
Do rich people care about poor people? They do not care about poor people. You know why? Because it is a grievous thing in a rich person's mind to see a poor person. Because you know what a rich person thinks when he see a poor person? You're lazy.
Right.
You could make it because I made it. Instead of having compassion on them and understanding that everybody don't get that opportunity that you got. Everybody's not going to get that record labels, not signed to that record. Everybody ain't 6'6" and they can't make it to the league.
Right.
Everybody ain't got that jumper you got and play for or as a quarterback like you. Why you can't understand that? Because we have been taught to not have compassion for our own brothers and sisters. We don't see each other as what? Family. You understand? Now imagine if we saw each other as family. Now I see y'all as family. So if I make it, what's gonna happen to y'all? We all making it. You know why? Because you are a part of me. We're family. And that is what we have been taught to stop seeing. We have stopped seeing each other as family. So you do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing. You make your money, I'm gonna make my money. And if you don't make it, it's your fault because I made it because of my work. And that's how we are raised to be. And that's why we at the bottom. The Asians, they don't think like that. The East Indians, they don't think like that. Because as soon as those immigrant Asians come in from wherever the hell they come from, they take them in and give them a chair in the nail shop. If they don't have nowhere to stay, they stay in the nail shop in the back. They make sure that they brothers and sisters, even though they don't know Kim Sue, even though they don't know, you know what I'm saying, Timmy, they bring them in anyway. You understand? Because they see each other as family.
That's right.
Our Hispanic brothers do that. Our Hispanic brothers get a 4-bedroom house and put 6 families in that house. It'll be a family staying in the goddamn closet. You understand? But you know what they're going to do? They're going to stack money. They're going to save. Everybody's going to get money together. Everybody going to stack money together. Everybody going to buy trucks. And then they're going to save enough money to go and move into their own house. And then guess what? They're going to open up other rooms for other people. At first, it was 6 families in one house. Now you done spread it around to what now there's 16 families.
Right.
And that is what the white man can't have. He can't have us thinking like that and loving each other like that.
Right.
Because what is that called? What does the Bible call blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans loving each other? Go ahead, sis. La-ah. It is what it's called, but that's not the word I'm looking for. When blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans come together, what is that called in the Bible? Say it loud. The kingdom of what? The kingdom of heaven. That is what the Bible is. That's what we teach. The Bible teaches that the kingdom of heaven is where? Within us, within our nation, within our family. Everybody got a gift. Everybody has a different gift, though. Let me ask you something. How can you build a house if everybody in here does tile? If everybody in here just lays tile, how can we build a house? You cannot. Let me tell you, all you can do is lay down the floor. But the Lord gave this man the gift to be an architect. He gave me the gift to build walls. He gave this brother the gift to put down piping. He gave that brother the gift to do electrical work. He gave that brother back there the gift to put down bricks. Now, with all powers combined, you understand? With our powers combined, we can build a house. With our nation combined as a family, we could build the kingdom of heaven. You finished that?
No,
you got a question? Ask your question.
So I know the prophecies say that it's going to take a revolutionary black man by the name of YAHANNA, you know what I'm saying, for us to come together. Right. But like, what I don't understand is, because I read the stories of old, you know, when Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans got tired and fed up of the oppression, and they turned from the ways of the oppressor, turned back to the ways of their fathers, you understand? And the Lord, you know, started to bless them. I just don't understand like with all this tyranny that's going on, you know, in America, just not just in America, in the world, period, but specifically because we're in America, like, and our people getting gunned down, blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, like, why is it so hard for us to come together as a people? Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, it's the only option at this point.
No, it's not. If you are not the same, if we're not the same people, if in our mind, black problems are black problems, right. Hispanic problems are Hispanic problems, Native American problems are Native American problems. Let me put it to you in a way that you can understand. In Africa, the Liberians went into slavery again, right?
Right. Slavery.
Now, how do you feel about that?
No concern. It's not my people.
You don't have, it's what?
It's not my people.
They're not your people, so how do you feel about it? You feel nothing. Guess what? We look at Hispanics like they what? Not our people. So now they got little babies in El Paso. That's not our what? People. No, that's not our concern. That's not our concern. The only way it would be your concern is if that was your what? Your people, your family. You understand? Like, we share posts with black people getting shot down by police because it's what people being shot down by police? Black people. When Mexicans get shot down by police, you don't share those posts. Right. You know why? Because that's Mexican people's job to share the posts for the Mexicans. Right. But niggas are Mexicans. Right. Mexicans are niggas. Right. You understand? So once we start seeing that, then what we would do was start sharing all of that to look out for each other. Right. So the reason we can't see or have compassion for each other is because we look at each other like enemies. And that leads back to the brother's question is, what is the oppressor's job? Is to make sure that we don't ever see each other as family. To never, to do what? Divide and conquer. A house divided can't what? House divided cannot stand. You can't build. If we come in the daytime and build, and then Hispanics come in at the nighttime and take the bricks down, then we will never build anything. That's what we're doing to each other. We're building up one thing and then they coming in at nighttime and taking it away. So we're not building. That's why we destroy. You finishing that scripture? Go ahead.
Verse 19. As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
That's what we're talking about right now. Oppression comes from the rich. That is how they do the poor. Let the righteous man, let the poor righteous man be oppressed. Right. That's what's happening. Go ahead, sis.
Right. So, verse 18, it talks about the hyena and the dog, which are actually in the same family, like Esau and Jacob. But in verse 17, it compares the wolf to the lamb, and the sinner to the godly. I think that's just as heavy as verse 18.
Oh, we ain't even got there yet. We haven't even got there yet. Where did you start at? You started before that? Okay, no sweat. Go on down.
Okay. Go back down. What?
No, finish where you at.
Okay.
Go before that. What she talking about? That's what I mean, Salaki.
Okay, cool. I just started right in.
Right, no sweat.
All right.
Verse, you want to understand that. Go ahead.
All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Now, this is how the Lord is letting you know that the people that's over you shouldn't be around you. Because what does the Lord call the false prophets? Say it. Wolves what? Wolves in sheep's clothing. What fellowship should wolves have with sheep? Because a wolf only wants to eat sheep. He only wants to eat off of sheep. So why should you be fellowshipping? Why should you be fellowshipping with wolves? You understand? And you know who the wolves are? All the other nations. Right. If you're from Houston, you stay in the hood. If you just go to Cullen, let's just say Cullen, right? Let's just say the Fiesta parking lot, right? In the Fiesta parking lot, You got Fiesta, right? That's a store ran by white people. You have the Beauty Supply, which is ran by the Asians. You have the Suits U, which is ran by the Africans. You have Active Athlete, the place where we go and get shoes and go to get fly, is ran by the Arabs. You go across the street to the gas station, that's ran by the Arabs. You go to the Beauty Supply across the street, that's ran by the Africans. Everything in that parking lot is ran by another nation. You know what black-owned businesses in that parking lot? A little truck that sells snow cones that's ran by Mexicans. A brother that pulls up in the worst nights, in the worst parts of the night with a barbecue pit hooked up to his truck. That's the only business that we have. Oh, I can't forget about the Wolves, because right down the street you have Mount Moriah, which is a Christian church that all the Christians go into and give all of their money that they didn't give to Fiesta, that they didn't give to the Beauty Supply. You understand? That is why we destroyed, because everybody in our neighborhood surrounding us is draining us. They're not helping us build. See, in this school right here, everything we have in this building, you know who did it for us? We did. Poor people got us this building.
Right.
This is what pennies do. Coming into the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, that is why it is righteous to have a righteous man above you. That's why we advocate for commanding General YAHANNA the way we do, because he is a man of the Lord and he is not a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
You understand? And that's why it's important to have righteous leadership above you, because everybody else is out to get you. Simone, you done with that?
I was actually gonna go to 15.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like.
Read that again.
Come on. Every beast loveth his like.
Every beast loves the beast that's like him.
Right.
Lions run with lions. Tigers run with tigers. Alligators run with alligators. Now, let me show you something. Have you ever seen an alligator and a crocodile together?
Absolutely not.
They look just alike.
Good teaching, though.
You understand? They look just alike. If you look at them, a black man and an African looks just alike. An Arab and a Mexican looks just alike. But are they the same people? You know why? Because the Lord set a difference between us and the other nations.
Right.
You understand? But every beast loveth his own kind except us. We try to love all kind. We try to love everybody. And that's our downfall. Go ahead.
So like if I may, and even when the so-called white man tries to make those animals within the same family group but of a different species, when they try to make the lion with the tiger and make a liger,
right? The
liger is sterile.
Right.
It can't reproduce.
It can't even reproduce.
That's so heavy.
You understand? Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, it can't reproduce any more ligers.
Exactly.
So that's the reason, and that's the Lord trying to show us why he flooded the whole damn earth in the first place.
That is the Lord trying to let you know, I don't want no ligers.
Right.
I didn't make a liger.
Right.
Don't try to be God and create your own. You trying to create a white baby and a black baby.
Right.
The Lord don't want your white and black baby.
Right.
The Lord wants you to make a baby with your kinsmen according to your flesh.
That's right.
That's what he wants, because that's how he made you. Because
Every beast loveth his like.
Read.
And every man loveth his neighbor.
You should only love your own people, your own neighbor. See, in the Bible times, we were not staying. You wouldn't have a white man staying next door to you.
Right.
We all stayed in one area. They all stayed in one area. Even recently, we were segregated. You understand?
Right.
This integration came after Martin Luther King. But before that, segregation was the way to live, because that's how the Lord designed it to be. That is why you have different languages on the earth, because the Lord don't even want you talking to these other nations.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
So like you said, if I could, like due to my job, like I'm allowed to go in like a lot of people's homes in different neighborhoods and things of that nature. Like Salakia, sir, but it's still segregation now, because like it amazed me, like it ain't just Chinatown off of Bel Air.
Right.
Like over there, like in Riverstone is split down the middle by one road. On one side of Riverstone, it's a complete East Indian neighborhood.
Right.
On the other side of Riverstone, it's nothing but Asians. I'm talking about ain't no white people, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no black people. It's East Indians on one side, they commune together, and on the other side is Asians. And what's interesting is they look out for one another. So like say for instance, they move into a neighborhood, the way they corner the neighborhood, somebody move out of a house, they pull together, buy that house, and then lease it out to their own people. You know what I'm saying? So can't nobody get in that house next to them. Then the neighbors next door move, they get together and they buy that house and put somebody in that house. Till they take over the entire neighborhood. They HOA is they rules. So either you gonna follow their rules and get out, and 9 times out of 10 they gonna make it hard for you with fines and get the city involved and get you kicked out of the neighborhood. Because they don't want you there in the first place.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's right.
I mean, because every beast love it is like. Except blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Damn right.
Of all likes.
You know why? You know how I know that it's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the people of the Bible? Because Christ had to say something very simple. Love one another. Why don't you just love each other? Why do you have to give your love to everybody? Why don't you just love one another? And you know what a Christian will tell you? That means love everybody.
Nice.
If he wanted to say love everybody, he would have said what? That's your sister. That's what your king had to tell you. Man, stop all this bickering and fussing and fighting and love each other. We still got that same problem today, man. Go ahead. Finish that right there. Yeah, I know it's going to get deeper.
Right. He's like it.
Tell them where we at.
It's the book, The Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 16.
All right.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstained from all ways as from filthiness.
All right.
He pronounced the end of the just to be blessed.
Right. That's what he can't stand. The white man cannot stand us saying that when Christ comes back, he's coming to get us.
Right.
The just. He can't stand hearing about that blessing. He wants to partake in it too. Read.
And maketh his boast that God is his Father. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him.
Read that again.
God had one con. The end of verse 16 going into 17. And maketh his boast that God is his Father.
That is what the white man says.
Right.
But guess whose father the Lord? Guess whose father the Lord is? Yours.
Right.
That he's your father. The one that created the heavens, the earth, the water, the stars, the moon, the sun is your father. Keep reading.
Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him.
Read.
Verse 18. For if the just man be the son of God, he will help him. And deliver him from the hand of his enemy.
That's how he's looking at us now. The white man is looking at us like, if the just man is the Lord's children, then the Lord should come and help him. But he see us getting lower and lower in our conditions because we're becoming worse sinners and more abominable people. So the Lord is not coming to help us. So you know what that makes the white man think? The Lord will never come and help us because he's not our father. Because if he was our father, he would defend us. Right. And he would look out for us. But the Lord is so just that he don't want to reward or save wicked children. Right. Just like you not going to buy your bad kids that's bringing home elves a PlayStation 4. You're not going to bring home gifts for them to reward them in their wickedness. Well, the Lord ain't going to send Christ back to save us from our enemies because we love our enemies. We love the people that the Lord want to kill. Keep reading.
Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture.
How does the white man look at us?
Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture.
How does he examine you?
With despitefulness and torture.
Let us examine him with hate. Let us give more hate. Let us kill them. Let us destroy them. Read.
That we may know his meekness and prove his patience.
Let the Lord give us some mercy.
Right.
We gonna mess over his kids more. Keep reading.
Let us condemn him with a shameful death. For by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them.
Read. It's the last verse.
You got 3 more.
Okay, no sweat.
Con.
The last verse is the killer. Right. Go ahead.
Con. Verse 22. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not.
Who knew them not?
For the mysteries of God, they knew them not.
See, white people come up to us all the time thinking they know the Bible.
Right.
Think they got a vocab.
They think they have a voice. They think they have some understanding.
Right.
But as for the mysteries of the scriptures, why does it say the mysteries? Now, let me ask people this. Why does the Bible say the mysteries of the scriptures? Go ahead, Doc.
Because in the book of Psalms starts off to understand an enigma, a dark saying, the wisdom, the hidden things, the fear of the Lord thy God is the beginning of all wisdom and knowledge.
You understand? The scriptures are written in dark sayings. Christ spoke in parables, what we would call today riddles.
Right.
You know what that means? He does not want everybody to understand it. When you sitting in front of your kids and you out here spelling, you sitting in the living room like you want to go in the room and SEX.
Right.
You know why you saying it like that? Because you don't want them to know it. Well, do you know why the Bible says there's a serpent in the garden? Because he don't want to have to say the spirit of the white man.
Right.
He wants you to understand a serpent. What is a serpent? A serpent is the low down, dirty, lying ass person.
Right.
We see who that is today. That ain't hard to recognize. There's so many mysteries in the scriptures, but you know what? Read that point again. As for the mysteries.
As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not.
They don't know. They don't understand. They don't know. As for the mysteries. As for the Bible in total, they don't understand it. Read.
Right.
Neither hope they for the wages of righteousness.
And they don't even care about being righteous. They don't care about being righteous. They don't care about doing what the Lord say do.
Right.
They just want to make sure you don't do what the Lord say do. Because by you doing what the Lord say do, puts you above them. Read.
Nor discern a reward for blameless soul.
They don't look for no reward. They don't want heaven to come because heaven is rulership of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So all they're going to try to do is teach you how to sin. That's what they're going to do. They're going to teach you sin. They're going to make sin legal. Haven't you seen that? They made sin legal. How?
Right.
Being gay is legal. Smoking weed is legal.
They tried to,
Marrying a tree is legal. Marrying a dog is legal. Marrying your sister is legal. The Lord don't like incest. The Lord don't like bestiality.
Right.
But the white man says it's all good.
Right.
Keep reading.
For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
The Lord never wanted you to have to die.
Right.
But since you wanted to follow after what everybody else say, the Lord said, no sweat, I'll kill you and bring you back. And I'll kill you and bring you back. And I'll kill you. You know what? You still immortal because your soul never dies.
Right.
But you just don't remember your whole life. You don't remember your lifespan. You don't remember what happened in your past life. So you were hung and castrated your last life. You die. You come into this life, you're a crackhead. You die, you go back into the next life, you a hoe. You die, you come back into the next. It's a never-ending punishment. Right. You know what it's called? Hell. Right. This is hell right now. You don't have to wait to die to go to hell. You living in hell right now.
Right.
This is hell. Keep reading.
Verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil.
Through envy of who?
Of the devil.
Through envy of what?
The devil.
Of who?
The devil.
What does the Bible say?
The devil.
Who are you envying right now?
The devil.
Who are you trying to live like now?
The devil.
Whose lifestyle are you following?
The devil.
Through envying the white man,
The devil.
You see why it doesn't say white man? Because black people know who the devil is.
Right.
Now, let me ask you something. Are you envying somebody under the ground with horns and a pitchfork?
Absolutely not.
But through the Christian mind, that is what they would make you believe. This is talking about the devil under the ground. That ain't who you trying to live like. You ain't having orgies and going to swingers parties because of something under the ground. You'll see white people do it. You are envying them. Through the envy of the devil, what happened?
Came death into the world.
Came what?
Death into the world.
How did you start dying?
Through envy of the devil.
By trying to live a white life. By trying to live a life like the other nations. You understand? Read.
And they that do hold of his side do find it.
And the people that hold on to that lifestyle, you're going to find death.
Right, sir.
That is the job of the oppressor.
Right.
The oppressor comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The white man is the oppressor that the Bible speaks of. Understand? All right, no sweat. Anybody got any more questions? Go ahead, sis.
I guess this would be a clarification. In Christianity, they teach that the hair braiding in gold, wearing gold, like Israelites do, is something frowned upon.
Right.
It's mentioned in about 2 scriptures, 1 Peter and then 1 Timothy. What's the real meaning behind that? Is it because obviously hair braiding?
Give me Judith. Give me Judith. You give me Judith. You give me Isaiah 3. I want the part when she went. I want 2 parts. I want the part when she when she was wearing her all black because she was mourning, and then I want the part when she got dolled up. Now let me show you something. When she adorned herself. See, let me tell you what Christianity teaches. Christians want women to be independent. They want you to look like a man. They want you to be butch. You understand? Because that spirit that the Christians put on our women is to destroy the femininity that you have. Right. That feminine spirit that the Lord gave women is the most delicate, beautiful thing on the earth. Right. You can melt any man on the. Judith melted a whole army with her femininity. She stopped being feminine because her husband died. So she didn't adorn herself. She wore widow's clothing. You ain't even got to find the black part, the all black. Just give me the adorned part. She stopped dressing up because she was mourning. But when it was time to step up for her nation, we're going to find out what she did. Now, let me tell you what the Bible says. It is a curse for our women to not doll themselves up. That is a curse. We're going to show you right now. Give me Isaiah chapter 3. Start at verse 16. 16.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks.
Because the daughters of Zion don't need a man.
Right.
They walk haughty. What is haughty? With their head up, with stretched forth necks. That's eye rolling, neck rolling, all that snapping and all that stuff. That is a haughty spirit. Right. Because you act like that and walk with stretched forth necks, read.
And wanting eyes.
And wanting everything you see, read.
Walking and menacing as they go.
Walking and mincing as you go. You walking and you switching out hard and you flirting with everything with a rod and a box. Read.
And making a tinkling with their feet.
That's them heels you wear. And them bracelets that's dangling and making all that. Read.
Verse 17. Therefore, the Lord will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion.
You know what the Lord is going to do? The Lord is going to take them edges. He's going to take that hair. He going to knock you. He going to take away the thing that makes you beautiful. See, you adorning. Keep reading.
And the Lord will discover their secret parts. Verse 18.
What are the secret parts?
How do women dress today? Ass out. Those things are your what parts? What are they called? What is your breast and your box and your ass called?
Your secret parts.
No, what do we call it?
Private parts.
Private. Those are your privates. Those are the secret parts. He's going to let your secret parts be known. You understand? You are showing all of your secret parts because that's the only way you feel like you can do what? Get attention.
Amen.
Because you have wanting eyes and you want everybody.
Yes,
You understand? So now you got to show your secret part to get what you want. Read.
I'm gonna come. Verse 18. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments.
In the day that you prideful and you don't need a man, he's going to take away your bracelets and your tinkling ornaments. You know what that's talking about? What are bracelets used for? Why do you wear bracelets?
To adorn yourself?
Yes, to make yourself beautiful. You wear bracelets to be cute, I guess is what y'all call it. Y'all want to get cute, get dolled up. You put on bracelets, necklaces, earrings, nose rings, toe rings. You want to put a chain from your ear to your nose or whatever the hell y'all want to do to make yourself look good. That is what you do. What the Lord say, because of your pride, I'm going to take it all from you. Read.
Tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tires like the moon.
Read.
Verse 19. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers. Verse 20. The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs.
You thought it was new? Y'all thought bonnets and all that was new? Read.
Right. And the headbands and the tablets and the earrings.
Right.
Verse 21.
He's taking, guess what? Who don't wear none of those things? What your Muhammad say? Blow my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who don't wear earrings and bracelets and necklaces and all of those things? Who don't wear that? Nuh-uh. Mm-mm. What type of women don't wear no jewelry, no makeup? They don't adorn themselves with things that make them look elegantly beautiful. Dykes and butches. Guess what our women are becoming? Our women are becoming men. Our women want to be a man more than they want to be a woman. And guess what that is? A curse from the Lord. Because of your pride. Go ahead.
Is it a curse when a woman is smitten with facial hair?
Is it a curse if a woman is...
If a woman, you know, have y'all seen women with beards?
Right. You know what? I'm not going to teach that that's a curse because I was not taught that that is a curse. But I will most definitely think that that is not of the Lord. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It could be. I'll ask that question and I'll answer it for you next week. Go ahead.
When you ask it, would it be the woman that starts growing stubble? She's trying to be over her husband.
Yeah, I will most definitely ask. I mean, it makes sense to me, but I'm not going to go off of what I think. I'm gonna go off of what the scriptures say. You understand? Go ahead, Al.
Like I made the women that do have that are the meanest bitches on earth.
They are. Give that brother a hand. That is the truth. You understand? Yes, that is the truth. Go ahead, read what you got. Keep going.
This is verse 21. The rings and nose jewels. Verse 22.
The rings and the nose jewels. Read.
Verse 22. The changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins.
Let me tell you something. It is a curse for a woman to not be elegant. Right. It is a curse for a woman to not be adorned in her beauty. So it is most definitely nothing wrong with you braiding your hair. It is not because the brother can't find the precept.
Oh, I got it, brother. I'm waiting on you.
Oh, well, Salakia. Hold that. Give me that.
No sweat. This is the book of Judith, chapter 10, verse 1. Now, after that, she had ceased to cry unto the God of Israel.
She stopped crying.
And bade made an end to all those words. She rose where she had fallen down and called her maid and went down into the house which she abode in the Sabbath days and the feast days, and pulled off her sackcloth.
Now she coming out them all black clothes. You know what she did? She untaped them breasts. You know you want to tape the breasts down and you want to throw on a muscle shirt because you want to look like a man. She unwrapped them jokers and let them out. You understand? Read.
She put off the sackcloth which she had on,
right,
and put off the garment of her widowhood, and washed her body all over with water, and anointed herself with precious ointments.
Read.
And braided the hair of her head.
What did she do to her head?
Braided the hair of her head.
Read.
And put on a tire upon it.
She put a what on it?
A tire upon it.
What is a tire that she put on her head? A head wrap, sister. Yes. That's exactly what she did. Keep reading. Right.
And put on garments of gladness.
What kind of garments?
Put on her garments of gladness.
Yes, she put on the good clothes. Right. She hadn't been in that part of the closet for a long time. She went and reached and got them dresses that she used to wear when her husband was alive. Read.
Wherewith she was clad during the life of Manasseh, her husband.
See? Read.
And she took sandals upon her feet, and put upon her bracelets and her chain.
Now watch this. When she was in mourning, when she was in hurt, when she was depressed, she was looking like this. She was no bracelets, no head wraps. You understand? That's a demon on you when you are living in that mindset. When she took that demon off of her, what did she do? Keep reading.
And she took sandals upon her feet.
Read.
And put about her bracelets, her chains, her rings, her earrings, and all her ornaments, and decked herself bravely to allure the eyes of all men that should see her.
Do you see that? That is the beauty that you have. You have a beauty that could make this place fall. This is what she used her beauty for. Her brothers needed encouragement. They was acting like they was scared to fight. That's what they was doing. She took matters into her own hands. You know what she did? She got dressed up. She walked through the camp, got to the king.
I got you right here.
Read it.
Verse 6. Thus they went forth to the gate of the city of Bethulia, and found standing Ozias, the ancients of the city of Carabas and Cremias, and when they saw her, that their countenance was altered.
What did they when they saw it first, they was mad. Who is this coming up here? Right. But when they saw her,
they was like, damn.
They was like, oh my damn. Keep reading.
And her countenance, and that her countenance was altered, and her apparel was changed. They wondered at her beauty very greatly.
What they wanted at her sin?
Her beauty very greatly.
You know what the Christian church wants you to be? An ugly duckling. They want you to, only way you show your beauty is if you trying to go against the sister next to you. That's how Christians use their beauty. That's why when you go to church, every woman in the church got a 10-gallon hat on that's to the roof because they trying to do the pastor's wife. And the deaconess, she trying to outdo the other sister. They trying to outdo each other. I've been in church all my life. Right. I know about the Christian church. Right. Understand? Go ahead.
Like, and the ones that are dressing like this, dressing real nice, are trying to have sex with the pastor.
And that's it. And that's another thing. Or they trying to have one of the musicians. Well, you know that drummer, he showed his cute. You know what I'm saying? That brother over there, you understand? That's what it's for. Right. They use their beauty to get what they want. That's the same thing this sister was doing, but she did it righteously for her nation. You understand? Go ahead, sis.
verse 5, you skip down to verse 6, but in verse 5 it says, then she gave her maid a bottle of oil and a cruse, a bottle of wine and a cruse of oil, and filled a bag with parched corn. Why did she do all that?
She gave her maid a bottle of wine because she just got out the tub. So now they oiling her up. They got her smelling good. She put her perfume on. She had to get dolled up. This is a part of her getting beautiful. Corn. What now? Let's think back. What do you use? What would a woman use corn for? If this is a beauty process.
But before that, it says a bottle of wine and a cruse of oil, and filled a bag with parched corn.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because she used this as her alluring trap when she got in the city. When she gets into you about to see. Read.
Verse 8. Then verse 7. And when they saw her, that her countenance was altered, and her apparel was changed, they wondered at her beauty very greatly, and said unto her, the God of our fathers, give thee favor and accomplish thine enterprises to the glory of the children of Israel, to the exaltation of Jerusalem. Then they worshiped God. And she said unto them, command the gates of the city to be opened unto me, that I may go forth and accomplish the things whereof ye have spoken with me. So they commanded the young man to open unto her, and she had spoken. Verse 10, and when they had done, Judith went out, she and her maid with her, and the men of the city looked after her until she was gone down the mountain, until she passed the valley and could see her no more. Thus they went straight forth in the valley. The first watch of the Assyrians met her.
Now, she making it to the heathens. So at first she was leaving out of her city. So her brothers was like, dang, I ain't seen her look like that in a long time. Right. They opened the gate, they let her out, they watched her because now she's going to go into enemy territory. Now the Assyrians are seeing her coming and approaching. What did these heathens say? See, now this is a tool that black women need to use. See, now you got a husband. This is what you should use your beauty for. You should go to work looking good, smiling and talking good so that you can get that raise, so that you can bring it home to Papa.
Right.
Read.
And took her and asked her, of what people art thou?
What did the Assyrians say?
Of what people art thou?
I was like, what kind of nation is you? Where you come from? Read.
And whence comest thou?
You see? Where you come from? Read.
And whither goest thou?
Look, that is how niggas, that is how people talk.
Where you coming from?
He is like, who are you? Where are you coming from? And where in the hell are you going? God, girl, look at you. What she say? Read.
And she said, I am a woman of the Hebrews.
I'm a what?
I'm a woman of the Hebrews.
Read.
And am fled from them, and they shall be given you to be consumed.
Now you know what she's doing? She's using her beauty to deceive them. I'm running from those bad Hebrews. I'm from them, but I got to get away from them. That's what you should be saying. I got to get away from my husband. He got that toxic masculinity. You know what? You a single mother. We're going to give you a raise. And you take that raise back home to you and your man.
Right.
You understand? You got to use your beauty to get whatever you got to get the righteous way. Read.
And I am coming before Holofernes, the chief captain of your army.
Who does she want to go talk to?
The chief captain of your army.
No, I want to talk to the secretary.
The chief captain of your army.
Where's the boss? That's what she said. Connect me to the boss. Read.
To declare the words of truth, and I will shew him a way whereby he shall go and win all the hill country without losing a body or life of any of his men.
Look, I'm going to show you a way to kill these niggas because I'm tired of them. Read.
Now, when the men heard her words and beheld her countenance, they wondered greatly at her beauty.
Say that one more time.
Now, when the men had heard her words.
When they did what?
Heard her words.
And
beheld her countenance, they wondered greatly at her beauty.
That is what you have. Our women have sweet words and beauty. But you know who they use it against? Their own brothers.
Yeah.
Instead of using it against the heathens and the other nations, you use it in the house. You go to work and be a good slave and come home and can't make a sandwich. That is because you have been destroyed. Keep reading.
And said unto her, thou hast saved thy life, in that thou hast come down to the presence of our Lord. Now therefore come to his tent, and some of us shall conduct thee until thee have delivered thee into his hands.
Look, let me just make a long story short. She went in a tent with this heathen. He tried to sleep with her. She took the wine out, got him drunk. Right. He fell asleep. She took a tent spike and cut his head off and put it in the bag and brought it back to her brothers. Go ahead, I.
And they wondered at her beauty and admired the children of Israel because of her. And everyone said to his neighbor, who would despise this people?
Who would hate Israelites when they got beautiful women like this?
Yeah.
Why are we fighting these niggas and look at they women? We should go and be their friends. Look at these women they got. Right. That's how that is how they see us, but now they play you against us. Right. Instead of looking at you like you are beautiful and you are something that they can't have, they see your beauty and take you from us. Now, she went in there, got with that heathen, cut his head off, took it to her brother and said, this is what the Lord delivered us. This is what he gave us. Now go and win. Now, they was afraid at first because the Assyrians was deep. When they seen that, a woman went in there and killed the leader, they was like, let's go. The Lord is with us. Go ahead.
The sister's question on verse 5, when he said, then gave her maid a bottle of wine, the curse of oil, and filled the bag with parched corn, lumps of figs with fine bread, and folded them these things together and laid them upon her.
Mm-hmm.
They're preparing for their journey.
Right.
Like, okay, so they journey into the encampment, they gonna get hungry. And they not gonna eat they food. They gonna bring their own food.
Right.
They want to still keep the commandments.
They not going in there because when they get in there, this heathen gonna prepare a feast for them, and it's gonna have swine and all that stuff on the table. So they gonna be like, no, we got our own food. Right. We got our own food, but we'll eat with you. Matter of fact, here, drink some of this wine. Got him drunk. He went to sleep off up in there, and he never woke up again.
You gotta know life is warfare.
You understand?
Right.
That life is warfare for you too.
Right.
Life ain't just warfare for us.
Right.
It's for you too.
Right.
But you gotta know how to fight the fight. Right. You gotta know how to fight the fight against the enemies because we're not the enemies. You understand? So when they say that it's wrong for you to adorn yourself, that is a wicked lie. Now, when you are in your wickedness, let me tell you what else happens to you. Read that, verse 24.
Come. Isaiah chapter.
Oh, start at 23 so they can get that too.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 23.
This is almost a couple of things the Lord is taking away from you. Read.
The glasses.
He's taking your glasses away.
And the fine linen.
Mm-hmm.
And the hoods.
Mm-hmm.
And the veils.
And the what?
The veils.
Read.
Verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink.
What's going to happen to you?
Instead of sweet smell there shall be stink.
You know what the Lord did? He made that box get real tart. He made you funky. You understand? He took away that sweet smell and made you stink because he had to take away your beauty. He had to take away the thing that made you something to look at. And now we look at you like, ugh.
Yeah.
Keep reading.
And instead of a girdle, a rent.
Mm.
And instead of
instead of a nice shape, now you look like you busting out the seams.
Right.
He took away that Coke bottle and made you a bag of potatoes. Arizona, damn right. Uh-huh. Go ahead, Ike.
Good night.
A 10-pound sack
A
of
bag of
potatoes.
VCR tapes, huh?
Right, you went from being bag of VCR.
5,000.
Right, that's real though. Now you look like a trash bag full of water. Understand? Go ahead, keep reading.
Okay, wow. And instead of well-set hair, baldness.
What is he gonna do to you?
And instead of well-set hair, baldness.
He's gonna bring that Pisha to your life. He
Damn!
gonna put Pisha on you.
Damn!
When he put Pisha on you, just know that it was the Lord that done it because of your pride. You understand? It was because of the Lord taking away your haughty spirit. He had to humble you. So now you got to go and make the Asians rich. You got to go make the East Indians rich because you got to go get Yaki. You got to go get the Brazilian and all that stuff. You got to go get a 1B and all that because you ain't got no hair because the Lord took it from you. He put baldness on it. Keep reading.
And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth.
Right?
And burning instead of beauty.
What instead of beauty?
Burning instead of beauty.
You become a hot girl.
Right.
Because you don't listen. Keep reading.
Verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword.
This is why you have destroyed your men with your pride. You made your men your enemy with your pride. And now they fall by the sword and they die. Keep reading.
And thy mighty men in the war.
And your mighty men are going to fall in the wars because you make them weak. Read.
Verse 26. And her gates shall lament.
What is her gates? Her protection. Her protection is going to lament and what?
And mourn.
They're going to be in mourning. You're not going to have any protection. You're not going to have someone to look out for you. When somebody come knock at your door at 2 in the morning, you're going to be scared because you ain't got a man in the house to protect you because they all dying. They being shot down. They being killed because you emasculate them.
Damn.
You understand? And now they're not strong enough to stand and fight, or they just die in the middle of an argument over some wicked you done, and now they got to die in the midst of an altercation because of you. Go ahead.
I don't understand the last precept of 24.
Okay.
Instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth.
Go ahead.
Like if I looked it up just for that reason. The stomacher means a fine garment, or something that you would wear on a holiday.
Right. So you instead of having on a nice dress, you wearing clothes of sackcloth. Sackcloth is something you wear in mourning. You rip your clothes on, you throw dust all over you, and you cry. That's how you look. That's how you look all the time now. That is how now we around here, instead of looking like princesses, you looking dusty. You understand? Instead of looking like royalty, you looking like a peasant. Go ahead.
To bring it home, I would want to put pajamas there where they go now.
Damn.
That's all you see.
Man, real talk, man.
They would have them sackcloth.
That's right. That's sackcloth for a princess. You're a princess.
Wow.
And you're around here wearing basketball shorts and a muscle shirt.
Wait, come on.
Go ahead.
Because that's me. Because I do that.
Well, guess what, sis? Guess what? Curse. That's a curse.
I work in the gym.
You understand? Keep reading. Keep reading.
Verse 26. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground.
Wait a minute. Her being desolate, she's going to sit where?
Sit upon the ground.
You know why you're going to have to sit on the ground? Because you're not going to be in rulers. You're not going to be on a throne no more. Right. You're not going to be tender and delicate anymore. Now you got to sit on the floor. The Lord has to magnify your men and make your men strong in order for you to be strong. Because your men is your protection. And if you have no protection, then you out of there. That's why he said, if you want to destroy, well, how does it go in Mark? First you got to bind, how it go? Bind the strong man to destroy his goods. A woman is a part of his goods. You are his. You understand? Right. So in order for the Lord to make your man great again, Read 4 and 1.
Come. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And he reads, and in that day.
In the day when you bald-headed and you stink and you done took away all the beauty, he took away all the beauty and everything that he taken away from you in that day, which is today, the time we living in now, what's gonna happen?
In that day, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
In the day that you destroyed, the Lord gonna lift up your man, but he gonna lift your man so high that he's gonna give him 7 women. Because you don't know how to deal with your man. So the Lord is going to give your man, he's going to multiply your man. He's going to give him more. He's going to give him 7 women. And guess what they're going to say? I got my own food. I got my own clothes. I got my own job. I don't need nothing from you. All I need is for you to take away my reproach. What is reproach? Huh? Being called a hoe. Be it my bad name. My shame. I need to be under your name so that I won't be looked at as shame anymore. It's like you marrying LeBron James. Whatever you did before you married LeBron James means nothing because now you are married to LeBron James.
Right.
That is what the Lord is doing to the men in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. He is lifting us up and raising us to raise the nation up. Because you have to have strong men to have a strong nation. So anybody that teaches that you can't braid your hair and put on some earrings is a faggot. Salakia. No sweat. Go ahead, sis.
My sister, the one you said we like twins.
Go ahead.
My sister that you said we like twins. She 7-day Adventist. For many years.
Right.
And several 6-7 years ago, she was like, I threw away all my jewelry. I got rid of all my everything that made her, I guess, adorn herself.
Right.
And I said, Jessica, why did you do that? Like you could have sold your jewelry or pawned it or whatever for fun, or given it to me or to one of our other 18 siblings. Like,
right.
Why did you do that? And she, I guess because she's Seventh-day Adventist, it wasn't, they don't know, like, our women adorn themselves.
Right.
It was okay. She felt shameful.
For having it.
Yes, she felt shameful and like she was putting herself above the Most High.
Right. She was making herself beautiful.
Herself pretty.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, man.
Right.
You know, 7-day Adventists, those are white people. Right. White people are naturally homosexual. Right. And if you go back to the Greeks, back to the time of the Greeks, women had to cut their hair like men just to get their husband to sleep with them. Their husband wouldn't sleep with them unless they climbed through the window and raped their wives. That's the only way they'll sleep with them. Because they would rather sleep with the person that they fought in war with.
Right.
They would rather sleep with the man. Yes, because that made their bond stronger because they fought for each other's lives. So their bond was stronger. So if you're on the war field with during the battle time, I'm gonna make sure that he don't die because I love him. That's a white man. And that is what you learn through monogamy. That's where monogamy comes from. White people that made a contract with a woman because he raped a nation of women and the man was going to kill them. So he said, no, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give her all that I have. I'm going to give her, if I die, she's going to get all my belongings. In our culture, if a man dies, who gets their belongings? The son. But in the white man's culture, who gets their belongings? The woman. That's not our culture. Right. If something happens to me, my son is the head of the house. If something happens to him, his little brother is the head of the house. The woman can't lead the house. You know what happens when women leave houses? from the 1980s on down to now has been ran by black women. We got homosexuals, crackheads, murderers, rapists, child molesters, pedophiles, because they were raised by women. That is the Bible. That is a curse that we're living under. Because the Lord said he wants men to rule the house.
That's right.
You understand? Go ahead. Go ahead. You just gonna say something?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna go back, just to backpedal when you say the women getting with the men to take away the shame.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very, very important because, you know, that's like that second chance for a woman. And I'm using the same example when you said a woman get with LeBron James.
Right.
Everybody else gonna say, that's that whore. You know that whore, look, and everybody looking at the game every time, looking at the little whore. But if she just sit right there and conduct herself and be quiet, put on the little clothes and just clap every time and then, you know, when he do a little dunk, after a while, people gonna say, what? I heard some things, but she's pretty good. Dude. She can maybe start doing something for cancer or take on a little something on the side and the whole shame will be taken away.
Exactly.
So the man's role is important. You get him out, the woman can't hide behind no shame.
Exactly. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Go ahead.
When you were talking about the son, like whenever the father dies, then everything goes to the son. When I was in school, my senior year was a Hispanic girl. She was talking and she felt like her father didn't love her because he did more for the son. And he was like, even though she was older than her younger brother, if anything was to happen to him, he raised his son up to be strong enough to take care of the household if anything was to happen to him. And a lot of other Hispanics were like, that's the way their household is ran. It's ran so where their daughters are quiet in the house and the sons, the father puts more effort and energy and time and everything like that into their sons, just in case you already work in construction, anything can happen to you if you leave the house. So if anything happens to that 3-year-old little brother, he can run the house up until.
Give Hispanics a hand. Those are children of the Lord. Understand? That is absolutely correct. Train up a child in the way he should go. So when he get old, it don't depart from him. Train them up as they're young to rule the house. My sons know the ranking order in the house. They know who's the next in line. And that's what they live by. We eat in ranking order in the house. I get my plate first. A bun gets his second. My gun gets his after that. And then the women eat. Because that is how they need to be trained. And when they go into their house, that's the same thing they're going to do. Even YAHANNA, he get his bottle before his mama eats.
Right.
You understand? Because that's the way it has to be done. And when you start living like that, it teaches your daughters that that's the way that she has to do with her husband. And it raises a righteous nation. It teaches them, because a lot of people think when Christ come back, you just gonna when Christ come back, he gonna press a reset button on your head and you just gonna snap in and do everything you're supposed to do. In actuality, Christ is coming to get people that's already ready.
Right.
He's coming back for a prepared people. You understand? Like, he coming back for people that already know what to do, not ones he got to train into doing. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I just want to read this real fast. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. And it reads, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
Now, Ophir. Right. Now Ophir was a special type of gold.
Right.
Like you had regular gold, but then you had Ophir. That must be that gold with that extra shine to it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The Lord said he made a man more. He's making us right now more precious than fine gold. You get a man in the UPK, you got some gold in your house. Yep. And one thing that I want to say about sisters, and I'm glad we're talking about this while we on it, submission. Let me tell you something about submission. Sisters, let me ask you a question. When you submit an application,
Yeah, talk to him.
Right? When you submit an application, how do you submit the application?
With full of lies.
Full of good night. This girl said she submit her application full of lies. That's the best. That's a good answer, sis. But what I mean is, let me ask you like this: when you turn in the application, do you cut off the bottom of the application to hold on to the bottom of it because your signature at the bottom? Or do you turn in the entire application?
All of it.
You turn in how much of it?
All of it.
Do you cut off the top because your name on it? What do you do to it? You turn it all in. That is how you submit something. You turn all of it in. Well, guess what you should do to your man? You should give your man all to you, all to him. Give it all to him. Give him all of you. You know why? Because he will die for you.
Right.
Let me say something. There's no scripture in the Bible that tells a woman to die for her man. But there is a scripture in the Bible that tells a man to die for his wife.
Good night.
What scripture says that?
Like if I may, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church.
How did Christ love the church?
He died for him.
He died for him. So if Christ died for us, the church, then what should you do for your wife? What type of love should you show for your wife? For your wife, you should die for her. If I'm gonna die for you, you're gonna have to submit to me. If I'm gonna put my life on the line for you, you're gonna have to give up everything for me. That's real submission. You understand? He deserves that. He deserves that because he will give it all up for you. He will give his life for you. So you should be able to give up your heart for him, your mind, your soul, your spirit.
Be careful, don't cry wolf, because if you cry wolf, you're gonna come out swinging and killing for you.
And another thing about that,
I'm trying to tell you, man.
yeah, don't cry wolf. Don't be going around saying something wrong with you, and ain't really nothing wrong with you. Right. Throwing a temper tantrum, and he kills somebody, and now he gets locked up because he put his life on the line. Right. You gotta, and you know what that's gonna make you do? That's gonna make you be careful who you sleep with. That's gonna make you be careful who you submit yourself to.
Come on.
Because now if you gotta give, now that makes you not give all of yourself to a weed head. Now you're not gonna give all of yourself to a pork eating wicked nigga, cigarette smoking, pill popping type of person. Now you want a man because now you have standards. Now you have integrity. Now you have something to lose because you're giving the next person you sleep with all of you, not some. See, that's why a lot of women do what they do, because they don't have to give all of themselves to him.
Right. Yep.
So if you're going to be with someone, give them all to you. Go ahead, sis.
This is a question. It's not my question. Disclaimer. But the question is, can you, should a woman work full time and still have to come home, cook, clean, and take care of the kids, or is she only meant for household?
Let me say that again. Should a woman? Thank you. Does a woman have to cook? Wait, read that again. Read it a little louder.
Should a woman work full time and still have to come home, cook, clean, and take care of the kids, or is she only meant for household work?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the answer according to the Bible and not the white man.
Right.
A woman should go to work, cook, clean, and come home and take care of her family. Take care of her family, because that is what a virtuous woman would do. Now, a bitch should do whatever she want to do. A woman that feels that, 50-50, we got equal this and that, she's going to do what she wants to do. But according to the Bible talks about having a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman would do that and not have a problem with it because she's above a natural woman.
Right.
So now, if you're talking about a natural woman, you're talking about a regular woman, then a regular woman, I don't know, because we don't make regular women in the UPK. Right. We make daughters of Zions. We make princesses, and they are virtuous. They are above and beyond. And in Proverbs 31, starting at verse 10, all the way down to the end, it shows you that this type of a woman, she wakes up early in the morning while it's still dark, and she goes out and she's her hand is to the needle. She's sewing and she got scarlet, and she goes and get a land and she buys it, and she comes home and she's up early and she's go to sleep late, She's going to the market, and her husband is known in the city gates because of her. He's like, oh, that's Yazak real right there. You know what I'm saying? That's Yazak real. That brother coming in with them garments and looking like that. That's Yazak. You understand? That is how it's supposed to be. You are your man's possession, right? Now, I don't want you to get offended, but it's the truth. Right. You're your man's possession. You know what else is a man's possession? His car, his phone, his watch. Now, let me ask you something. Does your car ever use you? Do you use your car? You drive the car because the car gets you to and from. You are supposed to be there for your woman because your woman is supposed to help you complete you are like a car, like unto myself. The Lord said he made Adam a helpmate like unto himself. He made a car for Adam that he could talk to. But this car get him from point A to point B, but he can enjoy the conversation while he's riding in his car. Right. You understand? I'm not trying to just say that you are nothing, but you have to understand your role. And being with a husband, being with a man, you should be willing. You should love your husband that much that if that's your role, you don't have a problem with it. You should love him that much to say, man, this is my Lord. This is not like you married to a man in the UPK. When Christ comes back, he's going to put a crown on his head. You understand that? You know what that means? That means your Lord is going to be someone that rules a country, that rules a planet, that rules a whole nother galaxy. Whatever the Lord wants, your Lord, your outer one, the man that you sleep with. So whatever he needs you to do, whatever he wants you to do, you should say, "Con out of one con." That's what you should say. And there is nothing wrong with submitting and respecting your husband because he is your husband. That's right. You understand? Go ahead.
Two things I got hold on. That's a Christian mentality about about coming home and have to do something like that. But every Christian woman knows Proverbs 31. They don't read the scripture. Right. You know what I'm saying? The Christian church pits the man and the woman in the household against each other so that the household falls. Right. And number two, to take it back to the application thing, when you submit your application to your boss, your name, your social security, your background, everything is on there. Everything is on there. Same way you should submit that to your boss and submit it to your husband.
Get that brother a hand. Go ahead, talk to them.
It's like it, sir. But I mean, what people fail to realize is if you can't be used, you're useless.
Good night.
You understand? Mercy. Like the whole purpose is for you to be of service. If your man is of service to put his life on the line, you need to be of service to your husband. You understand? Right. Anything that he needs that you can assist with, it should just be called out on come.
That is absolutely right. You understand? Go ahead, sis. It's not wrong for a woman to ask anything. There's no law against you asking for anything. You understand? But it is, let me ask you a question. Is it wrong for you to ask for a day off at work? Is it wrong for you to take a day off? Is it wrong for you to ask for a day off at work? No, there's nothing wrong with it. But does your boss have to grant you the day off? No. He does not. That's the same way in the house. Right. You can ask whatever you can ask what you will, but it's up to your outer one to say con or la. You understand? Anything else? Any more questions? Let me check this out right here. Preaching officer, Ron, you almost up. Okay, no sweat. You too up. Let me see. I see a Homo sapien in here. Right. Other than that, nobody important. A troglodyte. You understand? Let me see. That's it. With that, we're gonna pass the class over to Precinct Officer Ashar.
These are the security announcements. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, start out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verses 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means 10 in the Hebrew, Mayashura. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. Would be the next one would be, we had tabernacles, was it trumpets?
Yeah, memorial.
Kind. All right, so the memorial blowing of the trumpets, first day of the 7th month, which would be Saturday, September the 28th, 2019. Scripture is Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, verses 24 through 25. Any Akim or Aquathium, check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any man wants to become a trooper in the school, he will start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headbands, or war scarf. These are the security announcements. Shalom.
And with that, Amadium, which means to stand. Sar, turn and face the east. We're going to read the Lord's Prayer, first in Hebrew, then in English. Abanaw, Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadat, Wadat, I.S.U.P.K, Shemka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Lakwaka, Taba'ah, Batazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Mashamayim, Nakalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawaknawa, Kabawaknawa, Wala'ah, Tabi'aynawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Ashaynawa, Mayan, Rad, Kayak, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapara, Na'awalamyum, Amen. In English, our Father, who art in heaven, Yahweh, Hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us. Our debts. As we forgive. Our debtors. Lead us not. Into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. Power and the glory. Forever. So be it. Sorry. Courtesy salute to the brothers. Mayim Shabbat. Mayim. Rock. Yahweh Yahweh Rock. Yazmatah. So, courtesy salute to the sisters. Mayim Shabbat. Mayim. Rock. Yahweh Shemala Bashim Yahweh. Yazmatah. Dismiss.
Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding General YAHANNA.
Look here, we got a safe haven for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and it's not in the Christian church, it's not in the Muslim mosque, it's not in the country community, but it is in the UPK. I.W.L.A, tell them to change your life.
Word on the street, they tried to get me. If they could, they would split me. I respect the game, keep it to the street. I move around, so it's hard to hit me in the highways, in the byways, doing the Lord's work. It ain't my ways. Never will I celebrate no wicked pagan holidays. Cause we break them commandments and heathens living back. No shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster. Don't eat none of that. Devil's proud and tall. Trump building that wall. This is the final call. Babylon will fall. I'm so serious about these precepts. I memorize my family, my old friends. They see me, they be so surprised. I'm on that other level. I changed my life. I'm doing it right. Demons come back 7 times worse. You gotta be ready for that fight. Selling your soul to the devil, that's something you can't afford. Ain't no game to serve the Lord. Twice you walk around with my sword, I'm energized. Gotta feel this enterprise. You can see it all in my eyes. America full of the white lies. So many lost in the world hypnotized.
I pray for a better day. Me and my brothers in the state. Men of the Lord never go astray. I'm proud to say we so warriors. And I pray every single day. This brothers in the UPK. Men of the Lord never go astray. I'm proud to say we so warriors. I pray for a better day. Me and my brothers in the state. Men of the Lord never go astray. I'm proud to say we so warriors. And I pray every single day. This brothers in the UPK. Men of the Lord never go astray. I'm proud to say we so warriors.
I was a Christian, then I decided to be a Muslim. With all of the pain my people went through. I was a Black Panther, but now I'm not him. The hell with the red, black, and green, cause now I know what it really means. And the conscious community is unconscious, living in the dream. So I figured I'd be the Wapian. Ain't nobody stopping them till I heard Commanding General YAHANNA speak, and he dropped the gem. Who are the Israelites? I don't know. Out the street gangbanging. Black Latinos, Native Indians. I found that out. That was a game changer. So I called Officer Shaq Yahala. He said, call Captain Kahan. He told me the I.S.U.P.K was home with the truth, second to none. Started off a young man, did my 90 days, ain't got my name. Everything I owe, I wasn't all black. I was a trooper, man. I worked real hard to get them demons off of my chest. Studied to show myself approved. I prepared to take my officer's test. It was the Lord's will I passed. Shatter the lies, break the glass. Took a vow, I accept the task. Now I'm a priest teaching class.
I pray for a better day. Me and my brothers in the state. Men of the Lord never go astray. I'm proud to say we so warriors. And I pray every single day. This brothers in the UPK. Men of the Lord never go astray. I'm proud to say we so warriors. Certified priests, teaching on the streets. On a pulpit of wood, behind inside. Holding shalom. I can even who kissing. Isaiah 49 and 23.
Call me to the square, ain't gotta be no thief. When I tell devils that they go to shake it like a leaf. I'm hardcore right now, check my resume. Not some stuff I did long time ago, I'm talking about today. My words cut and slice like a knife, they been a blade. Renegade, I don't make lemonade, I make grenade. Catch a fade, you can slid on my niggas' grill. Warriors trained to fight and kill, so nigga chill. You ran streets, that's past time. We run streets. It's cash time. You play too much, you waste your money buying stripper hoes. Expensive clothes, 83s and gold, smoke up your nose. It's obvious you chose not to do nothing with your dough. And now you late night creeping with a tranny on the low. Your blood gon' be upon you, looks like gon' put you to death. Better change your life right now, you don't have much time left. Once I get it all on the line, do it for Yahweh. Against the storm, it's kind of fun. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I spit game to a damsel and tap that. Real beat up like I'm in the studio, a lab rat. Toxic masculinity, I'm known to be aggressive. Over 30 years in the rap game, impressive. In my own lane, can't nobody take it from me. Grab the mic and speak the truth. Now these heathens running from me. All I see is emasculated men with pride. You in your home smoking weed while the hood get gentrified. You claim to be a gangster, but you ain't got no game. When the police hit the block, they run, they ain't gon' aim. Heard just the other day, my homie threw his life away. That could have been me in the grave. I think on top of UPK. It's a place where warriors dwell, real priests and prophets of the Lord. Real men never fail. Can you tell it not? We gon' show you how to organize. Build the kingdom of heaven on earth right before your eyes. Once I get the order, it's gone out of one gun. Bodies in the field laying all on the lawn. I do it for Yahweh and Yahweh Shai's son. Dash Isupk baby head against the stone, it's kind of fun. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet. You give me a sword, I'll bring it back wet.